Hi everyone, my name's Tom Williams and I'm the Managing Director of Coin & Drink. Coin & Drink's a brand name that's commonly associated with coffee, vending and automated retail solutions, but we have a large division for water coolers and water dispensers that we call Aquatech. Aquatech was formed way back in 1991 and we were one of the first vending operators to branch out and start delivering its own water cooler division. The reason for doing that was staff hydration, staff welfare was really on the rise in the late 80s to early 90s. And there was not many players in the market for these kind of services, but it was becoming more and more of a question that was being asked by our customers. We were getting more and more inquiries from potential customers for it. And we saw a little bit of a gap in the market to then start positioning ourselves as a total refreshment provider. We'd already got coffee, tea, hot chocolate, soup vending, we'd got snacks and cold drinks, we'd got fresh food, and water was the last missing piece of the puzzle really. So in 1991 it started out mainly as offering bottled water coolers. So when I say bottled water coolers, so these would be a water cooler with an 18.5 to 19 litre bottle that sits on top of it, and that would dispense water for workplaces across the region. And we coupled that with a delivery service of the water, collection service of the empty bottles, and from a very small platform we started to scale a large part of the Coin & Drink business is now. So we've got a long-standing relationship with a water supplier called Wenlock Water. They're based over in Much Wenlock, and that's where we source all our bottled water. It's a really, really great product and it's got sustainability at its heart, which is really important to us as well. So all the bottles we deliver are fully recyclable. We deliver water to customers. They pay for the water and a deposit on the bottle. The deposit gets returned when we collect the bottle. The bottle gets collected by Wenlock and Wenlock do the sanitisation process, and the bottle just goes around in a cycle until it reaches its end of life. And it's been a fantastic partnership for a very, very long time, and our customers have seen great benefit from it. So from 1991, it developed from being just bottled water coolers to being plumbed-in water coolers. So this was where the water cooler would be plumbed into your mains water supply, then fit with a water filter to purify the water, filter out any contaminants or any microplastics or anything like that that might be coming through, to deliver chilled, ambient, hot or sparkling water as it is today as well. The one thing we saw very early on was that the people who were delivering water dispenser services to businesses were just getting it wrong, and the main issue was unreliable deliveries, poor sanitisation and poor quality equipment. So our mission from the outset was to use our own delivery team, really drive a great relationship with our customers, to have a point of contact so we could ring, collect orders over the telephone, and our customers would see a friendly face delivering the water consistently week after week with minimal disruption to service. So this is why we chose such a local bottled water supplier as well, to ensure that good continuation of service and the good quality product. So where we won was we had a really good customer base to start with for coffee vending services, and we were then able to start offering water as a supplemental service to those customers, which for us it generated another income stream, but for the customers it showed a real care for their own staff about hydration and well-being, especially in the environments that we were serving in those days, but also still in these days, that were automotive, logistics, distribution. So it could be associated hot working environments during the summer months, but also that hydration is important all year round. Part of our water cooler service, which is really, really important and often overlooked by customers until it becomes an afterthought, where it should be the point that sells the service. It's about the actual aftercare of the coolers themselves. So we have our own dedicated in-house team who look after the whole sanitisation process. So each water cooler's got its own different type of sanitisation and cleaning process. So for us, with our bottled water coolers, we have a team who go around doing sanitisations of reservoirs, they replace taps and flush through the systems completely. And that just adds an extra layer of hygiene. So it's stopping bacteria growth, it's preventing it at all. Using the water filters that we do, it gives the crispest quality water you can get coming out of the machine. It could be that there's UV lights installed for purification, or different types of flushing chemicals that go through to completely kill all bacteria. It's a really important part of the service, and we've got a really good team that go around doing that day in, day out. Because if you haven't got that in place, or it's not to the correct standard. Water can soon start to taste not great. We've been to multiple sites where the customers perhaps own their own water cooler and they've never had a water filter on it, or the same water filter's been on there since they've bought it, and they're wondering why the water doesn't taste great. And that's because they've overlooked the service side of it. The machines need to be cleaned inside, the pipes need to be cleaned, and the filter needs to be in place and regularly swapped to keep the water tasting as great as it possibly can coming out of that tap. So that's a huge element for us, and it's probably the one thing that sells what we do. Our coffee and vending side is all about hygiene. We do really well from that perspective, so it's only natural that we do the same for our water division, and it's something we're really passionate about because it's the customer quality at the end of the day that they see coming out of their tap, and we want them to enjoy the best quality water possible. The water cooler division has developed massively since 1991. What started off as an add-on service that was being delivered alongside our vending and coffee solutions soon turned into its own department, so it owned delivery drivers, own people that were ringing up to take water orders, own engineers. So there's been a real development in the people, but also the types of products we're offering. So traditionally it would have been a cold and ambient water cooler. Over the years that has developed to being cold, ambient, hot, sparkling, and through different formats, so not just bottled water coolers, but we have plumbed in water coolers, we have boxed water coolers, and more recently instant tap systems. And the tap systems are probably the future of workplace hydration when it comes to water. Sleek taps installed into kitchen worktops, powered by an under-counter boiler or chiller or sparkling unit. And that's a real growth area for us moving forward as people want to become more environmentally friendly, so eliminating bottles altogether by encouraging bottle filling, so reusable bottles, or filling jugs for meeting rooms, and eliminating the need to buy in plastic bottles. So there's been a huge development there in the way people see water and value water as an important part of their own business and employee wellbeing. The biggest challenge for our water cooler division is always demand. As you can imagine, warm summer months, demand goes through the roof. Winter months, it can start to tail off a little bit. But I'd say in the last 4 or 5 years that the demand has been all year round, as hydration's formed a really key part of people's day-to-day life. It's not just seen as a thirst quencher to rehydrate in the summer months. It's now important all year round. And people are pairing a glass of water with a cup of coffee. It's what the Italians do. You will never get a cup of coffee without a glass of water alongside it. And I think we're starting to see that now. Hydration has become really key, whether it's adding vitamins into water or whether it's just where the water's sourced from. Our bottled water from Wenlock is really, really popular because it's got a great taste to it, extremely crisp, and you can tell the difference between the mineral water and filtered tap water. You really can, and it's a quality product. But the opportunities that we see is there's still incredibly poor service from competitors around, failed deliveries, unreliable equipment, and there's a lot of scope for growth in the water category. Plumbed in tap systems are a prime example of that, where we'd install instant boiling, chilled and sparkling tap into a workplace, and then that gives a premium feel to water, and the site can completely eliminate plastic bottles. They can start filling jugs for meeting rooms to serve water rather than buying in glass or plastic bottles for that purpose. So it forms a key central point of a business to deliver really high quality water, and through equipment that can cope with high volume. One of the biggest things we see is people have got water coolers or taps installed that just haven't got the capacity to keep up with, say, 10 people wanting to fill a sports bottle back to back, and people have just got the wrong type of equipment installed for it. So the opportunity we see is that we need to get the right equipment into the people's premises, installed for their actual usage, not just predicted usage. And to keep capitalising on poor delivery schedules, poor service, we've really committed to keeping the face-to-face version and fundamentals of what we do. We still take the majority of our water orders by phone. People might say that's old-fashioned, but actually being able to speak to someone at a customer site who's responsible for ordering the water and other products alongside it at the same time, and forming that relationship. They get to know the delivery driver as well, and it helps ensure that we get the empty bottles back if it's that kind of service, which is really key for us on our sustainability front. The water division itself has changed massively since 1991. To start with, it was being delivered through our other vending operated routes, whereas now it stands as its own standalone division, where we've got our own team of delivery drivers, technicians, sanitisation specialists, It's now a complete department of its own. And it's about 20% of our annual turnover is through our water cooler division. So the impact it's had on our business has been phenomenal. For what was originally just going to be an add-on service, it's now formed a fifth of our overall turnover, and that's something we only see continuing to grow as the years go on. Hydration is getting even more and more important to people. The products are getting better to deliver hydration. There's lots of new exciting things on the horizon that will take hydration to a new level by mixing it with functional vitamins and minerals and caffeine and things like that. So there's lots of exciting things coming through that will cater to the traditional generation, but also the modern generation of workers who want wellness from everything they consume and place a high importance on that. In terms of customers, so as I say, when we first started the water cooler division, it was purely for bottled water, and now we've pretty much got a 50-50 split between plumbed-in water coolers and bottled water coolers. Bottled water coolers work great in areas where it is just impossible to get plumbing to, so factory floors, mezzanine levels, places like that, whereas plumbed-in water coolers work really well in kitchen areas or in corridors, reception areas. And so there's a real product mix there. And there's also a mix in terms of the look and feel of coolers. We have a whole range to choose from, say, with different capacities for chilling, different capacities for ambient, for hot, for sparkling. And it's really important to have the variety of products available to the customers because it's situational. You have to have stuff that will cope with peaks and troughs, the high demand footfall times of the day, right through to, shutting down and going into energy saving mode during quiet times or overnight. It's really important that it's a consideration when we specify the equipment. When it comes to the water cooler division, I think we can be most proud of some of the customers that we have taken on from competitors. We've seen no end of customers come to us, and it's normally the same time of year. There's a heat wave and the supplier they've got currently has let them down. And it's something that we, commit to, that we've got a really great relationship and great supply for water. We always have plenty of stock. The amount of companies over the years that we've helped during critical times in hot weather where their suppliers let them down and we've had to step in and deliver the water, happens year in, year out. But it's great for us because we've won some really, really good customers off the back of it. Just a few years ago, we won a large client very locally to us who was having pallet deliveries 2-3 times a week, about 80-90 bottles at a time, and they were just taken for granted by the supplier they were using. Deliveries not on time, not on schedule, and they got fed up. And that's one of our leading water customers now, and growing. We're delivering more than they were having delivered before because it's reliable. The bottles are dropped to the points they need to be dropped around the building, and it's taken away the workload from them and the having to chase people, which is what all they felt like they were doing before. And we've got ample stories of that kind of situation where we've acquired customers. And obviously when we acquire water customers, it naturally leads into potential other services from us as well. So over 70% of our water customers are actually vending or coffee customers as well. So it works both ways, and it's something we're really proud of, to have such a wide range of water customers, and the way we do source them in terms of lead generation, whether it be through poor service from suppliers, or it can just be general inquiries through the website. And we look after anything from a theme park through to a large automotive company, right the way down to maybe hairdressers or barbers. We've got a really broad range of that. But the key is they want their products delivered on time, in full, and reliably every week. I think next for us with the water cooler division is there's got to be another sustained period of growth. We've got the capacity and the desire to grow that side of the business significantly. It's a really nice industry to be in, the water cooler industry. There's some great people around there, great machine equipment suppliers, a lot of innovation going on, which is exactly what you need to drive it forward. I think what's key for us is it's got to be the right product. We don't just start supplying equipment based on a glossy presentation. It's got to have real impact for our customers. It's got to resonate with us. The equipment's got to be reliable. It's got to add a real benefit to a customer. And I do think we're going to start to see a change in water coolers, the demand from the workplace. We're already seeing solutions coming out that are giving people the ability to add vitamins and minerals and additives to their water, flavourings, and it's all based around wellness. I think that's going to be a big part moving forward for the whole industry, and I think we're in a really good position to take advantage of that. And it probably opens different markets for us as well, particularly into maybe some of the larger office spaces where we already supply coffee, vending, but putting new types of tap systems or drink systems in place that offer more than just water is going to be the growth area that I see over the next 5 to 10 years. But it'll always be done on the same principle of how we run the water business now. Our own staff, our own team will look after the service, they'll look after the sanitisation process, which is often overlooked. And I think that's the only way you can make this a success, is by having personal relationships, because it's an easy industry to get lost in. It's grown tremendously over the last 10, 15 years, the whole water dispense industry. So you've got to keep to your principles that work and that customers value, which is clean equipment, reliable deliveries, and just a person to speak to and a person that can actually liaise with at point of delivery and point of order. So I think that's what's going to continue to drive us moving forward. And we'd like to see the water division continue to grow at the pace it has been. It's going to be a significant part of our business for a long time yet, and say it already equates to about 20% of our annual turnover. And I'd like it to stay at that number as the rest of the business grows. And for that to happen, it's got to keep up with the pace that the other elements of the business are growing at. So there's a lot of hard work to come, but I think we've got a really good team in place and a lot of planning in place to make that happen.